This is another episode of Giving Flowers. And this is our second female to enter the club, Mickie James. Mickie James. I don't think Mickie James get her flowers on a she has splashed a lot. She's got a lot of championships, a lot of success. But I don't think she get the proper respect as like top girls when she's like legendary. You know what I'm saying? She was at a era where there was only very few women's wrestlers that was actually good. And that mind you, at that time the hypersexualization of women was at an all time high. This is 2005, 6. So girls were getting pushed just by being pretty. She happened to be pretty and good in the ring, like Trish Stratus, like Lita, and a few others, But it was a small pool of them that were very sexy but good in the ring. It was a small pool of them. And Mickie James was a part of that. And Mickie James not only showed gimmick, she showed a character, mic skills, all that good shit. I remember, it's all bleak in my mind because I remember watching it as a kid, but it was just good shit. She was obsessed with Trish. I'm sure that's like the biggest highlight of her career that most people remember, but like Mickie James is a big part of the quote unquote women's revolution before that was even a thing. You know what I'm saying? Because even afterwards, with all the bullshit, they try to humiliate her with Mickie James. I never understood that when she was fine as hell. She's still fine as shit. By the way, I don't like Nick Aldis no more at all. I don't like his James Bond 2.0 ass. That's his wife. So I hate the way that he walked, the way that he talked. I hate the way that he dressed. But anyway, Mickie James definitely splashed. 6 time, about a good 6 time women's champ in WWE. She was one of the only girls to be a Divas champ and a 5 time women's champ. You know, so before the women's title became kind of Divas, which is like nobody really take that serious until AJ Lee and Caitlyn came along. But still, it is something. You know what I'm saying? And Mickie James she don't get looked at on the same level as Bailey's and the Charlottes, and when she was them before them, winning a lot of champions. Her whole career, by the time she even stopped, she's like 11 time world champ. I mean, come on now, out of WWE and TNA. Well, she won in TNA like 5 different times. And she splashed in TNA. I remember her going to TNA, feuding with Victoria, aka Tara, and what's the other fine ass bitch name that had that ass on her, man? Damn, I can't remember her name. I should have did some research. Oh, I forgot her name, but you probably know what I'm talking about. She had a nice little apple ass on that thing. Then other shit in TNA. I remember that though. She really splashed that. In TNA, that her music was hardcore country. And, she took on her country gimmick and she started doing her singing thing. And Mickie James was always entertaining. She evolved over the years. She could talk. She could wrestle. There's nothing Mickie James couldn't do. Um, Regardless how it ended at Duddy, then she go back to Duddy, and she just was basically like a valet, and like just kind of just sitting around. And I seen the disrespect then. It's like, why they acting like she ain't one of those girls? That's why this revolution even started, really. You know what I'm saying? Trish Stratus gave her the crown at that time. Trish Stratus on her way out, she got injured, so Trish Stratus had to give it up. But she gave Mickie James the torch. WrestleMania 22, I remember that. So that feud was really dope. Like, really, really entertaining. And so, I just never understood why Mickie James was never, like, put or looked at on the same scale as other legendary girls. But she's legendary as hell. Like, I just don't really get it. And that's why, like, she definitely deserves her flowers, bro. She don't get the credit a lot. There's other girls, too, that I'm going to do. But Mickie James is like a big star that's not looked at as a big star in a way. Like, she respected, she loved, but she's just not, she's never been looked at, or like most people wouldn't even compare her to the modern day girls of today, when she's responsible for these modern day girls even getting this look. Like I said, I gotta remind you, she was part of a era where women's wrestling wasn't that serious or took it serious. And at that time, WrestleMania 22, her and Trish Stratus actually had a good match on top of a good feud, good character display, all that. And then Mickie James just became better and better. She was like the locker room leader in TNA pretty much, you know. And but like I said, she come back to WWE and she just kind of like just standing around, not much doing much, whatever. You know, probably all her decision to really not do much. Her WWE never really had a good relationship. It's always been rocky, you know, politics, whatever. But Mickie James, man, she's accomplished a hell of a lot, and she don't get a lot of credit for it. It's like she's kind of forgotten, really. Like she's an unsung hero. She's an unsung goat, really. Honestly, like you can't really deny that she's an unsung goat, and Mickie James has done some shit that really can't be duplicated again for real. Hell, AJ Lee with the whole bad girl next door shit, that was kind of Mickie James, really, in a way. The psycho shit, because AJ Lee used to kind of show that craziness over the guys that she was obsessed with. Mickie James started that shit, bro. She don't, I mean, that's what I'm saying. She never really get that credit. She never really get that credit. And it's just kind of a shame, a little bit. Kind of a shame, you know. Even though what good maybe 3 years ago she was in the Royal Rumble as the women's Impact champ, you know. So that was some sign of appreciation, which I thought was cool, you know. But just on a grander scale, you ask most people, she might not come up in the conversation, and I just think that's kind of asinine a little bit. Like, damn, really? Like, why is she never in a conversation? When you think of women's Mount Rushmore, or I wouldn't say Mount Rushmore, but I mean, you could argue her in that though, in a way. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's really not many today. You can. It might be a different story because you add today, 2013 to now. It's a lot of great girls when it comes to that. But like top 10, she should be in anybody's top 10 at least of like greatest women of all time. She's definitely one of them. Mickie James is definitely one of them. And she maintained, she was consistent. Like I said, she evolved over the years. You know, there's a lot of girls that hasn't evolved, and yet they're considered better than her. It's a lot of like I like Mercedes Moné, but like Mercedes Moné is literally Sasha Banks in AEW. It's the same person, but most people probably don't even know Mickie James. You know, definitely newer generation probably don't even know Mickie James even is or what she's done for the business. Like, she's the reason why Mercedes Moné and Bailey and all these girls can even exist, really. Without her contributions early on, and you got to think, this is 2005, TNA was already doing a women's revolution, women's tag team titles, and women was main event with Gail Kim and Asuka Kong and shit. So they was competing with that. Not the fact that he really cared to directly compete with that, but they still was competing with that. You get what I'm saying? Then years later, now we got tag titles and the women main event. You know, so that was the spark that started that fire that you see today. Mickie James is a big, big, big part of that. And I do not think she get enough credit. I don't think the appreciation is loud enough. I think she had her times where people gave her praise. I think if she popped up out in the Royal Rumble, which should be fire, she popped up at this year's Royal Rumble. I think she would get a good pop because people do remember her, but she's always kind of been shied away from the GOAT talk. You gonna say Charlotte first? You gonna say the four horsewomen? Some people would say Rhea Ripley already. You gonna say Trish? You gonna say Lita? You gonna say China? But you never really hear Mickie James like that. Tell me if I'm lying. Like you don't really hear her name being brought up, and I think that's kind of like, nah, man. She definitely deserves way more credit for what she has done. You know, she was ahead of her time. She was definitely ahead of her time. 11-time women's champ. Come on, bro. 11-time women's champ. 5 or 7, 6 times in WWE. 5 times in TNA. That's crazy, bro. To be that good in both brands like that, come on, dude. And she was like the face of the WWE for quite a while. She was the face of the TNA. So I guess it is what it is, though. Don't matter. I'm giving her her flowers. Flowers well deserved, man. Like, share, subscribe, dislike, all the good shit. We are out.